Not gonna lie, I started watching you because of the pod and I have zero regrets. Wow. You know, the thing that I really like about it is I have a lot of people talking to me about it. They're always just like, Yvonne, like, love the pod and all this. And I think Toast was talking about it too, where like he just more frequently now will have people coming up and saying that they like the pod, and it just becomes something that it was a bit unexpected. I guess like I didn't expect the amount of people to tell me that they like the pod. Like, of course, there would be some, but like I just didn't think it was to this extent. It was where I remember we were in Toronto for the Valorant show match stuff, and then we walked out, and this girl made this really cute drawing of we were fighting, and she drew out like me and Toast, like our little avatars that like look similar to the ones that Lily drew and stuff, and it was really cute. And I was like, oh my gosh, it was so nice. Like, I didn't initially, like, think the pod was gonna be something that was like, oh my god, this is gonna be, like, a huge success or anything like that. I did it because I always kind of wanted to start a podcast, but I just didn't have a plan for it exactly until Toast asked and kind of made it more real, I guess. I would always, like, kind of save topics. I was like, this would be fun to talk about, and I just saved it in my TikTok bookmarks and everything, without ever even knowing if I would ever put it to use. And I'm just really glad that the pod became a place that I feel safe sharing things almost. Like, it's not that I can't share things on stream, but it oddly feels more intimate to share it in a setting first where I'm almost like talking to my friend about it first. There are things that I have never talked to Toast about. Like my dad, for example, I've never talked to Toast about my dad. But that wasn't because he's not good enough friend. It was just like more like when we're hanging out on the average day, like if we're watching a show or if we're going to dinner, I'm not just gonna be like, so my dad was a piece of shit, you know what I mean? Like, but on the pod, I actually told him for the first time through that, and it felt like I was telling him for the first time, and it was a very intimate setting with like him and Chelsea. And of course I like knew that it was gonna be uploaded to the internet, but when I'm there in that chair and at the set, like I'm not thinking about that exactly in the moment. I'm like talking, I'm telling him about it, and it's kind of like nice being able to feel like sharing something private or bonding with Chelsea and Toast about that, and then it gets broadcasted. I like that I can be like, hey, this is how I'm feeling right now, and even if it's negative, I don't feel bad sharing it in a spot like this. And I think I like that I have a chance to cut things if I want, or phrase something better if I want, or have more time to think about something before I say it, because then we could cut the pauses. You know, like I'm able to just, it feels like have more control in a good way. Like I'm not curating what's coming out, but I feel like I want to express it sometimes better than if I were to say something live and I'm not very good at explaining it. Oh, boy, this food is so good. Haha, my dad was addicted to heroin, by the way. Yeah, like that shit would never come up, you know? Like, it's just so troll. Let me traumatize my parental trauma over your hot pot. It was funny because, like, we actually never talked about it, but there was one time where we all hinted at it, like our own family problems. We're all like, yeah, like I mean my family's this. I was like my family's fucked up too. And then Scar's other people were like, yeah, my family's fucked up too. So we were all like, wait, we all haven't even heard of all of our families being fucked up before after a gazillion years of being together, because we probably all went through the exact same thing of not bringing it up on a casual Tuesday because we just didn't want to fucking trauma dump, and there was no conversation, honestly, that has ever really led to that, which is insane. But I thought it was funny that all of us experienced something similar. It's like when comedians have crazy trauma, but that's how they got their humor. Yeah, I was actually talking to someone about this the other day where I was, it's weird. Like I've been through traumatic events, but I don't feel exactly affected by it. There are some that trigger me but not even to the degree that I think I've seen some people be traumatized. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't feel like it's that intense. Although, back then, I probably just had, like, a coping mechanism with it. But, like, or maybe it's because I've, like, grieved a lot of things. Like, some people are traumatized or hold a lot of anger or other things from childhood experiences and things. It's weird. I feel like I've never really... I don't really have anything that I'm holding on to still, I feel. Everyone experiences trauma differently, but I don't like that the word gets thrown around. Yeah, I also think there's, like, levels of trauma. Because I feel like I'm not, like, completely... Like, I have no trauma feelings ever. You know what I mean? But I feel like it's dampened a lot. Like, my level is not that high. It's not that it's completely non-existent. There's, like, a bit that's there that I can, like, feel a little, oh, yeah, I don't like that feeling. Or, like, I feel like, a tiny bit, like, a bit triggered. But it doesn't make me act out. I don't physically feel anything intense. It's just, like, an uncomfortable feeling that passes by really quickly. Yeah, honestly, like, having to hold in a fart would make me feel more uncomfortable than that feeling of trauma for that 1, 2, or 2 seconds. I had this thing, like, where my dad, like, all the stuff that happened with my dad, I thought I had already come to terms with it. And then I remember one time I went out, like, partying. I was somewhere, I was, like, drunk or something at, like, a Illenium event. It was the first time I saw Illenium for the first time in, like, NorCal. And I remember that for whatever reason, I was talking to a friend of mine about our families. And then that part fucked me up. Like, that made me... I guess, I don't know if it was, like, emotions that I realized I had, but it made me really sad for, like, the next 2 weeks. I was just thinking about how so sad about my dad. But then ever since then, after I'd cried and grieved it, I haven't felt that intense emotion ever again towards him. It felt like that happened, and then that actually helped with me getting over it, and then now I'm, like, much more okay. So, I don't know. Yeah, it was very cathartic. Yeah. But I mean, I still have times where, like, I think it's sad. I think it's sad that, like, I think about my dad at my wedding and I don't think I would invite him. You know what I mean? And it would suck because it's like, I wish I could invite my dad, and I see other people being able to have, like, their family being like, I love my dad and, like, all this kind of stuff. But I can't relate to that. But I have other people in my life that I'd be very happy to have. Like, my mom could walk me down the aisle instead of my dad walking me down the aisle. Or I have, like, Toast and Scara, who I feel are very family and close to me, who would also, I imagine, could be there, right? So, yeah, it's just... yeah, I guess I just don't feel too bad. Leslie's gonna walk me down the... Nah. Excuse me.